Welcome to the CE Pro podcast. I'm Executive Editor Arlen Schweiger. The annual CE Pro 100 list of leading integrators is out, and one of the perennial members is Just One Touch Video and Audio Center in Los Angeles. This hybrid retailer has found the formula for combining its 5 retail locations with custom installation. In this week's podcast, President Joseph Akhtarzad and Chief Technologist Tom Campbell speak with CE Pro editor Jason Knott about how they market custom installation, how they cross-train their teams, how they're managing the supply chain crisis, and what one key type of technology is set to propel custom installation to new heights. As always, be sure to subscribe to CE Pro's YouTube channel and hit that like button on our videos, or subscribe to the CE Pro podcast on Apple and Spotify and leave a review.
Hi, Jason Knott, editor of CE Pro, and I am so excited to be joined today by one of the preeminent custom installation companies, not just in California, not just in the United States, but in the world. And I'm talking about Just One Touch Video and Audio Center in Southern California. With me today, Joseph Akhtarzad, President, and Tom Campbell, Corporate Director and Chief Technologist. Thanks for joining me today, guys.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you.
A pleasure.
All right, let's dig into the meat and potatoes here. Joseph, let me ask you this. You know, better than anybody, any other company in the industry, you have really been able to meld the brilliance of a retail operation with a custom installation operation. Why do you think Just One Touch Video Audio Center is been having such a successful, I won't just say 2021 or 2022, or even the past decade or the past 2 decades? What's the keys to your success?
Jason, as you're familiar, I'm from England. I finished my study from Nottingham University, and I got my master's degree in electronic and electrical engineering. The idea of having that enabled me after Video and Audio Center opened since 1981, I was always looking at technology and seeing it's getting more, not complicated, it's becoming more centerpiece of every home. And I knew by the incoming of new technologies, eventually people need a custom integrator to integrate everything in the home. I saw that. I was seeing coming, and it was not just about TVs and Walkmans and mini disc recorders. I knew eventually TV and home theater will be everything in the household. So sometime around 1999, I added the Just One Touch as a company to help consumers, home and office, to be able to integrate the systems they want in their home, no matter what it is. And at the beginning, started by educating. I built showcases around what the home theater looks like, what is a home automation looks like. People didn't know what it is. Contractors didn't know. The home buyers did not know really what and home automation as far as Crestron goes, Control 4 goes. They had no idea what we were talking about. What is it to make a kitchen fully automated? What does it take to make a room, an average room, turn it into a home theater? They had no understanding. So by building my first showroom in Santa Monica, independent of the retail it was at the time, I saw the appetite is growing and people are really embarrassing. Getting their hands into my company and want to know what else can I do for them. So eventually, as you know, we added Just One Touch in every store now, with the 5 prominent locations I have in Los Angeles, that's where the 1% customer reside. Okay, I was able to capture a lot of demands where the consumers are looking for, and I built that demand around the niche we have. You see, to build a company, it's not just giving the service and having a service. It's all got to do with referrals and referrals networking. I have a huge network with so many different corporations. I belong to so many charities. I work within the community, very involved, very involved. It's not just taking, I'm always giving a lot back to the community. And once you do that, once people know what type of a business you're in, everybody needs us. It's a fact. And a lot of people, if you ask your friend, if you buy a TV, who is going to install it and who's going to connect to your network? 9 out of 10, I don't know. Can you refer someone? Because it's not something you can go and Google it, and because you don't trust these people to come to your home. So we're the trusted face. Just one touch through my marketing department, which heads with Tom Campbell, and we have so many people in our marketing department. That's my number one key, is how to give the message out of what we do and how turnkey solution we have. Meaning you don't have to, these people, they don't want to know what the brand is. They don't want to know what type of equipment you're putting in. The only thing they're interested is, can I push a one button?
Let me just add something. First of all, Joseph is a visionary. There's no question about this. And in real estate, you talk about location, location, location. In retail, referral, referral, referral. And Joseph thanks every single client, no matter how large, no matter how small the purchase or the job. He personally thanks them. And it's amazing how many people call him back or say, hey, I'm going to refer you to so-and-so, recommend you. And it's not cookie cutter, Jason. Like one stamp for everybody. Each person is an individual. Some people, for example, have a certain look they want. And with his engineering staff and the whole staff, they do everything from not only installing a TV or a sound bar, but designing a home theater, the whole thing, the seating, the lighting, everything in the whole theater. And I got to share one thing just talked about. He had one client, hope you don't mind me mentioning this, Joseph. He wanted it where if a person walked in the room, it knew who was in there would play their favorite music. So if his wife walked in the room, it played certain music. If he came in the room, it played his favorite music automatically. And Joseph did it.
Recently, Google, at actually the CEDIA Tech Summit, they keynoted the Tech Summit, and he declared that the next decade, or the next 10 years, is quote unquote the decade of the integrator. So I wanted to get your feedback on that comment, if you agree with that assessment, or you disagree, or why not?
No. I 100% agree with that. 110%. The future has been here for last, 20, 30, as you said, decades. But right now, more so, because consumers are really looking for new technologies. Right now, we're going to, in the fall, in a couple of months, we're premiering the new Samsung micro LED for home, 89-inch and 110-inch. The 89-inch is going to be about 110,000, and the 110-inch micro LED will be about 150-inch. You don't know how many calls I get, Is this such a thing? What is micro LED? It's like education, don't worry about it. I have it. So with that micro LED, 100% they need custom installation. And once they buy that, maybe they need home theater seating. Then they need lighting. See, the person is going to spend 100,000. I always tell my crew, if he spends 100 on equipment, one equipment, you can spend 200,000. So, and we justify that. We not just sell, we're not a selling person. We find out where the appetite is, and we show the customer. And if the customer accepts that, what's better than, it's a win-win situation. So it's basically a high demand, and marketing around that, what technology is coming, which gets the consumer once more. So that's the answer to that, Google. Yes, I think future is very bright for integrated.
You have so many keys to success that you mentioned. Obviously, your your involvement in the community, your marketing prowess, your ability to educate the customers, which really sounds like a key because they come to you not even knowing what they want, but you really have to guide them through the process, which makes integration even more important, as we just talked about. So, one of the things that's really interesting, and I want to try to pick your brain on is, perennially we do our CE Pro 100, and I think over the last 10 years, Just One Touch has been the most efficient company in terms of productivity in the country. What is the structure of how you have your team set up to be so efficient on the custom installation side?
From day one, Jason, when I started with just few people, I realized I have to have a specialized team which works together, because I did not foresee where the future is going to take me. So at the beginning, when we started, we realized we need to have technicians. So we had a team of technicians. When we realized we need to have a lead technician, so we created a lead technician. Then we realized we need programmers, so we created a programmer team. Then we realized that we need project managers, and so forth. So all these different teams, they work together. They all understand what it means, what the programmer can do, to the certain extent that the lead technician understands programming, issues with programming. In most cases, I will tell them to refer to the team, because the team can do much better job and quicker, faster, turnkey. So in detail is, yes, we have different teams, they work together, but they understand if they go to a job and there's an issue, they can try to fix that issue, if it's programming, if it's whatever the customer needs are. But in most cases, if we know at the beginning what the customer is looking for, that's that 2 minutes, 3 minutes talking to the customer, we figure out what type of a team we have to set.
Now, is everybody cross-trained, or do you have, hey, I've got specialists who are really good at, video surveillance, or I've got some guys, a team that is targeted about, they're doing their high performance audio or home theater, or does everybody really kind of know all the disciplines? How do you have it set up?
Yeah, everyone needs to know everything we do, just in case a customer asks. But we do have a specialist within each team available if the technician has questions, and they can just call in and get help. But in most cases, we prefer if they're all a specialist team, because different security. So when you bring a specialty for security camera, obviously the customer feels good and he knows everything about every single cameras. He knows how they operate. But it is important, again, for everyone doing the installation to understand what really everything entails, so they can finish the work.
What does the future hold? We talk about energy management, we talk about lighting, we talk about the connected car. Where do you see evolving, in some of these new technologies that might be coming down the pike for both of you? I'll start with you, Joseph.
I think the future is all voice. Everything is voice. No more just one touch. We a few years ago, 5 years ago, when I saw voices coming, we actually formed a new company called Just One Whisper, believe it or not. And right now, if you type in justonewhisper.com, it goes to Just One Touch. See, the Just One Touch, imagine 22 years ago, where nobody knew touch. We didn't even know touch exists. I created a company called Just One Touch. People don't realize that's because of the one touch to create everything. So 5 years ago, I realized his voice. So we said, oh my God, we're getting outdated. Just one touch, who wants touch? People want voice. So we have Just One Whisper. So the future is, I think, is all voice command, voice demand, to the point we're implementing. We have done it a couple of times, and we're seeing a big demand is When someone walks into the home, you know, they're able to key in without the key, right? It's from face recognition, the door opens. Then once you walk in, you know, with that recognition, it plays your music. We have people looking for expanding into booking their flights by just audio, you know, asking, walking in, saying, you know, let's say call it Joseph, right? Joseph, book me a flight. I want to go to New York, you know? And at the same time they're walking, they go into the master bedroom closet, second floor. The speaker comes on and says, I found a ticket going to New York on Thursday morning or afternoon, depending what you requested. The system will allow to do all of that. So I can see this is going to grow. It's going to grow where every single person demands by voice. Everything that they want, they're going to use that verbalize. By verbalization, things are going to happen. They get confirmation into their email, into their phone, depending what they want to do. They want to book a flight, they want to book a movie, they want to order food. You don't have to rely on your phone as much by just walking around the house and, you know, using a code to activate the system and just asking the question. So I think it's going to be more voice. As I was mentioning, as you know, my biggest forte is building home theaters. And the home theaters needs home theater seating. It needs lighting. It needs the the different type of fiber optic lighting, the screens, the curtains, the whole the wow factor. I just don't, when I do a home theater, we don't just put chairs and seats and a projector and screen. That's not a wow factor. We create a wow factor so someone else sees that, or a female acceptance, or that's another thing. Female acceptance are very important. They are the one majority make all the decisions at home, what's going there and what's not going there. So I think in future, voice, as far as I'm concerned, is the biggest factor in our business.
Now, Tom, what do you think?
Well, I couldn't agree more. And Joseph, one thing that we didn't mention is also his engineering department. He has a staff of engineers as well. And we talk about home theater, but you're very humble, Joseph. Joseph is also very much involved. He's been with movie studios, commercial businesses, not just the home, but it's total integration. And you had 2G, 3G, we have 5G now, and now we're going to ultra 5G and ATM, faster and faster speeds. People want total integration from your cell phone, whether you have an iPhone or a Samsung phone or whoever phone, Google, they want to integrate it with their television, with all the information. So it's really the storage and retrieval of information. And I do want to mention also, Joseph hasn't really talked about this before publicly, but the Just One Whisper is surface marked and trademarked in case somebody else say, hey, I'm going to use that name. Joseph owns it, okay? But I will tell you that today, it really is the total integration, information, entertainment, everything. Look at what streaming is today. You want to see a movie, you see it instantly, whatever you want to see. And you're going to see more and more first run movies that were in the theaters, now being available from home. So I see a tremendous future. There's no question. And like I said, what Joseph just said, it shows what a visionary he really is, truly.
Yeah, so let me go back to the voice for a second. You see that sentient home, it's a term I kind of come up with. The home is sensing you when you come in. It's seeing your face, it's knowing your voice, etc. But do you think that that's going to be a situation where we're going to have multiple interfaces? So the light switch will still exist, the touch screen will still exist, the phone will still exist, and you'll have voice? Or do you see voice replacing some of those other interfaces?
Well, let me just, and Joseph, just for a second, why have to manually or physically do a switch? Lights on, bedroom off. Your voice says it all. It's less effort than having to physically walk over and to throw the switch up and down, right, Joseph?
Yes, I think it will take time for the voice activated to get the full confidence of the consumer. So I think at the beginning it will coexist, but then eventually it's like a tube TV became flat screen TV. Eventually, as Tom mentioned, it will take the over of anything which is manual or touch.
Let me ask you one other thing. You mentioned all of the finishes that you put together in a home theater. It's not just a screen and a projector and a couple of chairs. It's acoustical treatments, all those sorts of things. One of the things that is, I think, I don't want to call it a backlash because it's not a backlash, but people want technology, but in many cases they don't want to see it. They want it hidden. They want it discreet. So talk about a little bit about, the effort that you make from the design standpoint, and do you think that people are going to want to, quote unquote, hide their technology more, or do you think people are going to want to show off their technology more? Where's that trend going?
Okay, that was a very good question, Jason. From day one, my job was to making sure we hide everything. The homes or the apartments or wherever people are demanding stuff, they don't want to see anything. They want everything to be tucked away, hidden as much as possible. And the majority, they're asking, I just want to use my phone. I want to be able from my phone to see the security camera. I want to be able to play the music. I want to be able to do anything is possible where I do not have to go. In most cases, I'm going to tell you, some of our customers, they don't even know where the equipment is. We basically, at the beginning, we have a main head-end, which is a closet or somewhere downstairs, basement somewhere. And we always ask for air conditioning and HVAC, everything. So it's cooling. And they basically, sometimes they forget all of that exists. And we hardly get called to troubleshoot. The only time is maybe we have to change the set-top box or we are adding something where they go there and say, oh my God, the equipment is here. I didn't know I have this much electronics, you see? So I think, especially where we work around Beverly Hills, Hollywood, the high-end homes, these homes, they require us to hide everything as much as possible.
One last area, and I know this is a pain point for so many integrators, and that's this supply chain situation. I talked to small integrators who were telling me that they left millions of dollars on the table last year because they just couldn't get the equipment that they needed to complete the installations, and it's been very frustrating. How have you been mitigating that? How have you been handling it? Did you see this coming? Were you able to build up your inventory ahead? Tell me how you've been handling it.
This is a really, I'm suffering right now as we speak. I was able about a year ago bringing enough, lighting modules and all the switchers and dimmers and everything else. We really have a lot of issue with trying to get receivers. A lot of issues with the control system manufacturers. The control system manufacturers, I'm very surprised they cannot get up to speed, to get us what we need. We have right now 2 major homes. One is around $20 million home. The other one is $30 million home. One is finishing in May, the other one in July. We don't have the lighting modules for it. We don't have the keypads. And by the time this goes out, I'm sure that control system company knows which company it is. It's a disaster. I mean, to the point, the customer is asking us to take the system out, to just give us a manual for, or switch to another control system, which we have the option, obviously, to do. But the pain is still there, and I don't know why is it. Everything else is getting back to normal, but the control system companies, they cannot get it right.
Jason, if I may add just for a second, Joseph has opened additional warehouses. He was very smart in bringing in a lot of extra products. So a lot of the products we do have, the TVs, et cetera, we've talked a lot about these $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 TVs, but there's also a category in the 90s, right? You got a Sony 100-inch or so. You got Samsung. Tell me about those, Joseph, because those are selling very well, right?
Yes. Yeah, as you know, Jason, Sony, has this, the 100-inch screen. for around 17,000, and Samsung has a 98-inch 4K, which in the past was 70,000, 80,000, and now it's only 15,000. And people are finding out the biggest screen TV prices are so affordable now, because you can get an 85-inch major brand, one of, from Samsung, Sony, even LG, for around $1,500 now, where in the past it was, tens of thousands of dollars. So that, what Tom is trying to say is more and more people are investing money in the big screen TVs, larger screen TVs, and because of that, it takes a lot of warehousing. So we will forced to take over another logistic huge warehouse to add, because of these large screen sizes need a lot of warehousing room. And we're doing amazing business with large sizes now.
Well, I want to thank both of you for joining me today, Joseph Ochterzon, Tom Campbell, Just One Touch Video Audio Center. Again, congratulations on your fantastic year, your continued business, and I know what you're doing to mitigate and keep your customers happy is probably the leading edge of what many integrators are also trying to do. So thank you very much for joining CE Pro today.
Thank you.
And our thanks to CE Pro as well. Thank you very much, CE Pro, for the honor.
That's right, Jason. Always thank you so much for your dedication to your business.